good morning. Amanda here from Boreal Bliss Yoga Retreats. And I am here this morning to interview my friend, Sarah Seidelmann. She's someone I consider a mentor, and she just joined. Okay, great. Hi, Sarah. Okay. Hopefully she's going to be joining soon. There she is.
We did
Hi,
it. We did
Sarah.
it. How
We
are
did
you,
it.
Amanda? Good to
My
see you.
first live Instagram. So we're here to discuss this amazing book that Sarah wrote called Where the Deer Dream. And many of you know Sarah from our retreats because we always are referencing the Book of Beasties. When we see animals at our retreats, everybody loves to look them up in the book, and we often use them as inspiration for our classes. And Sarah's also been a guest at some of our retreats. And we did one of her books as a book club, Swimming with Elephants. So welcome, Sarah. We're super excited to have you here.
I'm super pumped to be here. Yeah, and oh my gosh, your retreats are so incredible. That was a pinnacle weekend in my life, and connecting with so many like-minded spirits and women getting together. Like, there's nothing more powerful than that. I just think, and I'm so grateful that you guys do what it takes, because it is no joke to put those kinds of things together, and it's so beautiful what happens when women connect.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, that's for sure. So, okay, my first question is, you have described this book as well, first I should say this is your first book of fiction, so congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
That's exciting. And you've described it as a coming of age story. So I guess I'm wondering, who do you think that you wrote the book for?
I think I wrote this book for anybody who has, experienced a really difficult plot twist in their life. I think I was really excited to write it for a younger audience at first. And because of the subject matter and publishing and et cetera, I struggled with that a little bit. My agent that I spoke to about it, they were, as people who are going to read the book, you'll discover why it might be, some of the subject matter might be problematic for 18 and under. And so it's not like a raunchy sex romp, so don't buy it for that reason. But really, that's what I started out. I started reading young adult fiction a couple of years ago. Well, probably longer than that. It's probably been like 6 or 7 years ago, like John Green. And I was like, oh, this is so fun to re-immerse myself in what it's like to be an adolescent, because that's such a potent time in our lives when we're discovering like who we are and what we want to do with our lives. And it's just intense, And so I loved reading like The Fault in Our Stars and some of his beautiful books. And he went to the same college I did. So sometimes, when you have somebody that you sort of feel like 1 degree of separation away from, you're like, well, maybe I could write something like that. And so that's really where it started. And I had a particular plot twist that went on in my life that was really scary. And some of the inspiration came out of that also. And so I guess in my wise old age of 53 or whatever I am, 54, 50, yeah, 54. Like the worst things that happen sometimes become doors for something else. Not that we wish them upon anybody, and not that we would have ever wished for these things to happen to us, but they're often door openers for us in our growth and in our understanding of what life is about and where we are in the universe, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I thought when I went into it, I was really expecting it to be like written for, a 17-year-old or something. And I quickly was like, you know what? I think this is for anyone, any age really, who's interested in thinking about healing, which is really what, if for anybody who's read Sarah's book, Swimming with Elephants, thinking about healing as like a whole holistic journey that's maybe not just medicine all the time. And maybe if you want to speak to that a little bit, maybe you could speak to that better than I can.
Yeah. So, and somebody's asking, where can you find the book? You can get it. It's in pre-order for 99 cents on Kindle at Amazon right now. And you can also find it at Amazon in paperback. And it's going to be orderable anywhere books are sold. It comes out the day after Thanksgiving. So, um, yeah. So I was, for those of you who don't know me, I left my medical practice about 11 years ago, and I was really a paid disease hunter. So that's what I did for a living, was sit under a microscope. No, I didn't sit under, I sat and stared into a microscope all day long looking at biopsies. So if you've ever had a skin biopsy, or if you've ever had a bone marrow biopsy or blood taken from you, I was the doctor who looked at all your tissues and then consulted with your doctor to let them know if there was disease going on or if it was healthy or what the process was. And I started getting more curious about what makes people well, after all those years of obsessing over what makes, things go wrong, what makes people well. And so I took a little sabbatical from that job to see if I could kind of explore that a little more. And eventually I did leave medicine to pursue a career in writing and coaching and kind of spiritual healing with people. And what I really learned was that what really makes people well is like singing, dancing, telling stories, like expressing yourself creatively in any way that you can, from like the way you set your table at Thanksgiving to the way you get dressed every day, all these, like, expressing ourselves creatively brings more life to our lives and makes us more vital and vibrant. And I think what I felt was missing in medicine, since way back in medical school, is really this kind of attending to the soul of a person. And I think the best care providers do that. They show up with their presence, when we can be fully present with people. That is healing. I mean, and that's why we say, like, if somebody's dying and people are like, well, what do I say to help them? Just be present with them. That is it. Like, that is the medicine. And so I really wanted to kind of wrestle with some of these issues of, I'm a huge fan of traditional allopathic medicine. And also there are other things that can be missing from that, or sometimes go missing, that if those aren't tended to, we may not get the healing that we're after, that we're really longing for.
And I've learned so much about this from you. So, like you, I also have a career that's based in, I'm an economist, so I do regressions and computer programming all day. But I've learned a lot from you about finding. So I wore today something that I learned from you. I've got on my little bird necklace, I'm like wearing these earrings, and this is something that I would even wear to work, which I would have never done maybe before kind of working with you and just kind of exploring this idea of wellness, and that healing can be as simple as like wearing a necklace that makes you feel joy or expresses your creativity a little bit. Yeah.
I love that. I love that there's so many people, that a lot of my clients and a lot of the people that I just fall in love with are people who have like this one side of them that is really science and heart, left brain, like heavy. And then when they begin to, like, I think that was the key for me. Like, I was longing to express myself creatively. That's why I was so stuck at work. And now I feel so joyful and whole because I can be logical and scientific, but I can also have this other side of me. And I think in our culture, we're often told, well, you're not an artist, or you're not a fashion, you don't know how to do fashion unless you're like on the cover of InStyle magazine, or you're a paid stylist or something. But it's like, heck no, like, we can be totally stylish in whatever way we want. And it's so much fun. Now I'm wishing I would have gone more into my style freak zone today, but I woke up a little late, so I just pulled on this V-neck. But I did
I love it.
Sparkly earrings. So
I love when you post your pictures and you're just, living your life, and you've got on like really beautiful, colorful, bright jackets and things. So another thing that is really fun about this book is, if you're from Minnesota, or specifically if you're from Duluth, is the book is obviously set in Duluth. And there's like, I think you should come up with some sort of game for the local businesses that are in there. Because I was wondering, have you told the local businesses that are in there that they're in there?
I haven't. And you know what? We did have one typo, which I was so disappointed, but I'm able to correct it because we're going to have an audible version of the book. I was able to correct it in the audible version. One of my favorite restaurants is Bob Bene, and it was supposed to say Va Bene, and then somehow it got changed to the number 8. So it says, we're going to the restaurant 8. I'm like, I don't know how that happened. Nobody caught it. Oh man. But yes, I have not told anybody. So I'm hoping maybe they'll hear about it in a roundabout way, or certain artists that get mentioned also.
Yeah, it's really fun. And then even like Brighton Beach and French River. And so if you're from Duluth, I think it's really fun to read books that are set in the place that you know and love. And those little surprises, you're like, oh, cool. Yeah.
Totally.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about was when you set out to write this, did you intend to write about kind of the complicated relationships between mother and daughter? Or was that just kind of, it naturally came up for you in the writing? Because I really enjoyed that piece of the book as well.
That's good. I'm so glad, because I had some early readers that were like, wow, the character's really upset with her mother. And I'm just like, oh no, like maybe they don't relate. Yes, I really did want to address the complicated relationship with moms. I mean, I am a mother. I was, I am a daughter. And I think my own relationship with my mom was so fraught, especially in high school and college, and even into, dare I say, I hate to say it, graduate school. I had a lot of growing up to do. I think we both did, a lot of growing that was, that we really needed to do. And it was so painful. And and then, now with time, my relationship with my mom became amazing through that sort of spiritual healing that I address in the book. I learned a lot through that medicine of the earth, I'll just say, about how to repair my relationship with my mom. And I'm so grateful, because my mom died about a year ago. And we died, when she died, we had such a profoundly beautiful, it brings me to tears, because it's like, I think that's all we ever long to, is to have harmony with, at least I'll speak for myself, all I ever really longed for was to have harmony with my mom. And so when I was mad at her, upset with her, wanting her to change, it was so hard, because it kind of went against my deepest longing was like to be connected with her. And so to have that be disrupted and have this, struggle was really hard. And so the character Mira has some challenges with her mom, and her mom is also her adoptive mother, which is also like, I'm an adoptive parent, and have learned a lot about mothering and other mothers and biological mothers, and how everybody feels about that. And it's so complicated, and it's so some of it is so beautiful, and I just wanted to touch on some of those themes. So.
Yeah, I really love that. I think it's really nice because a lot of us have experienced being a daughter or being a mother, and can relate to that kind of tension when you're coming into your own and maybe having some different ideas from your mom, and how do you kind of find the peace and harmony with all that. So I love that.
And it's like, we laugh, like my friends and I laugh now, because like our daughters, for those of you who have daughters, it's like the daughters are the ones that really set you straight if you're a mom. I mean, it was just, I was telling the story yesterday to some friends that it's probably 3 years ago, I went to this death doula training, and I was learning about how to support people who are dying. And it was so powerful and moving. And one of the best parts of it, I thought, was doing home funerals. Like, there's this resurgence of people doing funerals at home, where you bring this may not appeal to everybody, but boy, did it appeal to me. Bringing your loved one's body home to your home for 2 or 3 days to lie there in your living room, and there's ways to obviously, to make that a pleasant thing with dry ice, etc., blah, blah, blah. But I'd seen these amazing films of families doing that, especially when there are kids involved, and watching people, like the little kids, like decorating the bodies with flowers. And it was just so making death such a normal thing. And also so the children can understand what it means to be dead. I mean, I think it's like adults can barely wrap their mind around that concept, but for a child. So anyway, I was so moved by it. My daughter picks me up from the airport. I'm like, honey, I'm just telling you, like, when I go, I want a home funeral, just lay me on the dining room table, like bring somebody in to play the guitar, like just have dinner around me. She goes, Mom, without skipping a beat, we're never doing that, just so you know. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, well, I can ask for what I want for.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, really grateful for my own relationship with my mom. I think it helps me to be less less attached to what I have great relationships. I feel like with my daughters. Hopefully, if they're watching and they agree, listening.
I was actually there when one of your daughters came with you to an event that you were at, and you had books. And it was so funny because your book had been out for a long time at that point.
Yes.
And your daughter is just sitting there, and she decided to like crack it while we're at the event. And her eyebrows are going up. And then it was just so funny because she's reading it while we're there. And then I was like, so what do you think? She's like, it's pretty salty. It was just so cute. And then one other thing I wanted to bring up that was really fun for anyone that's worked with you before or knows you a little bit or follows you on Instagram, I think it's really fun to read the book because you put so much of yourself out into your Instagram that I think people get a feel for the things that light you up. And so many of those things are in the book. It's kind of like an insight into your mind. And it was really fun, like all of the things about interior design that you shared. And I think that you put a lot of your own fun, magical energy and humor and things into the book that if anyone knows you even just like a little bit, it's really fun to read this, if that makes sense.
Well, what you realize as a writer is like, people can only write about what they know, right? And so it's like, and now I'm rereading books that I used, and now I'm realizing, oh wow, this is that. Somehow everything is sort of autobiographical. Like all art is basically memoir, or all art is self-portrait, I guess, is what I've heard. So, yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot about how much you love interior design. I think.
Yes, I'm sitting in my daughter's room right now. I cannot take credit for this design. This is all her work, and she's actually a design student down at the U of M now. So.
Well, I really loved the book. I couldn't put it down. The last like 200 pages just flew by. I couldn't put it down. I cried a couple times. I laughed. I thought it was great. And I think it would make a great, holiday gift or a gift to a friend. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to read it and for talking with us this morning.
It was such a blessing to be here. Thank you so much, Amanda. Yeah, and for anybody who's looking for the book, you can get it at Kindle for 99 cents and pre-order, and it's anywhere books are sold. So,
and I think, are you doing a signing at Zenith Bookstore in Duluth?
I am. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, I'll be at Zenith Bookstore from 11 to 1, and we're gonna pick a winner from everybody who's been watching today, and I'm gonna mail you a copy of the book, whoever's been here. I was thinking it'd be fun to end by drawing a card for all of us, whoever's looking.
Yeah, let's do that.
Should we
Great
do that?
Idea.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's all just set our intention that we get whatever card it is we need. And this is the How Good Are You Willing to Let It Get card deck. Aww. The card is all is well. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now. And this is the message from Alice, my spirit animal, and it happens to be an elephant. It's all going to be okay. It's all okay now. Is there something you're fretting about? Does Alice's advice feel like something you can work with? And the prayer is, dear God, bring calm to my heart so that I may deliver calm to all who I encounter. So, good one to end on.
Thank you. Yes. All of Sarah's books are great. I love the card deck as well. And then this is the book, Where the Deer Dreams. So thank you for writing it, Sarah. And
you're so welcome.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Amanda. Mwah. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Bye.
Bye.